Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So we're going to be working on the John Deere 690B this afternoon. We need to fix the stick cylinder because there is an issue in it. When the stick is up, you can actually shove the stick in and out about 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches in the cylinder. You can actually see it move. It free travels. So there's an issue in that stick cylinder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear that stick cylinder apart. I get the pin knocked out of this end, and we're going to get the end gland threaded out. We have some tools from Friday Parts. They were nice enough to send us some tools to work on this cylinder with. So we're going to get that tore apart and see what's going on inside. So let me go gather some things up. We'll get it tore apart and figure out what our issue is. I'm pretty sure the nut is backed off of the ram, and it's allowing the piston to slide back and forth in there and the ram to slide inside the piston. So I'm pretty sure that's our issue. So we'll take it apart and see what's going on. Well, before we get started taking that stick cylinder off, we'll unbox these tools that Friday Parts sent us. Check out what we got here. I appreciate them sending these so we can get this job done. Move me some pallets over here for a nice temporary work table. Oh, they sent me some O-ring picks. Check those out. Sent me the actual wrench, the spanner wrench to take the end gland out. Check that out, nice and heavy built. Put a pipe on there, a square tube to use it for leverage, get that turned out. Got the different size pins to thread in, or to put in to get that out. Got an air freshener. Oh, look what else they sent. Oh. They even sent me a Frisbee and a hat. That was nice of them. You have to check out Friday Parts on FridayParts.com. So this is the actual wrench that we will use to loosen up or tighten the nut on the end of the ram. Now this is the 480 millimeter version. They have, I believe, 3 different sizes if I remember right. I think this was the mid-size one. Oh, it's heavy. It means it's built with plenty of steel. Oh yeah. Check this thing out. That's nice. And it's plenty heavy that we can push on it with an excavator to tighten that nut if we want to. Look at this. Nice and thick. All right, let's get started. I think we have the correct tools we need. So I've done minimal video on this because of the wind today. My camera keeps picking up the wind, and I apologize for that. But so far I've got to the point now where I just need to knock the 2 pins out that hold the cylinder on. I took the lines off, I capped them with my cap kit. That way it's going to keep the oil in the cylinder, and it's going to probably keep that ram from sliding out too far, too fast. It's probably going to slide out some because if that piston is loose on that ram, it's going to allow it to free travel in that tube. But it'll be slow with the lines capped. It's not like it's going to go squirting out super fast, but always take caution when taking a cylinder off so the ram doesn't come flying out and hit you or something. There's a possibility if a ram is broke, it could come sliding out and hit you and really injure you. So always take precaution. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the 200 and I'm going to lift it out of there. This end is going to have to drop down some because as you can see above that cylinder, that is not cut out like these newer excavators. These newer excavators, the pin bosses are right on top and they're open to the top, so you can actually flip that stick cylinder up, and if you wanted to, you could prop the tube up and you could pull the ram out and be able to work on it. This one's not designed that way, so I'm just going to take this completely off, take it in the shop, disassemble it on the shop floor, drain the oil out of it, and I'll probably end up fully resealing it while I got it off. Just do it and be done with it, because I did notice the wiper seal in the end is a little rolled. It don't look the healthiest, so I want to go ahead and just reseal it. So let's get them pins knocked out. We'll get the strap choked around there. It's already choked, it just needs pulled tight, and then we'll get it down on the ground, get it laying on a pallet, and I'll take it to the shop. Also, with this cylinder in this position now versus the position I had in it earlier with the cylinder all the way out, there's less oil in that tube because the ram is in there right now displacing the oil. So we're taking less oil out of the excavator when we take the cylinder off. Let's go ahead and get this strap stretched. Get it cinched up around there. Kind of where we think is middle. There we go. Put a little bit of tension on it just till I see the slop in the pins of that cylinder loosen up just a little bit. Right there. I think that's a good position to get those pins knocked out. I'm going to start with this bottom pin, and then I'll go to that top pin. Well, let's go ahead and see what we got here. There we go. Some shims in there. Why the eye ain't coming out the other? That's odd. Out of there. There we go. Perfect. Got a few shims to collect, I see. I'm definitely gonna have to have a little help when we go back together. I need some more assistance. A couple extra hands. When we go back together, I'm sure George will be here and Scooter will be around. I will pressure wash this, so if it gets any dirt on it, that'll be okay. Alright, so stick cylinder's off. Let's take it in the shop. So that's kind of funny. Madison went on vacation for the last couple days out to Maryland to her friend's baby shower, and she told me, she's like, you better not be messing around with any hose while I'm gone. Well, what am I doing? Messing around with some hose. I can't help myself. I'm sorry. Maybe this is not what she meant, but hey, can't help myself. Well, I got the cylinder carried here in the shop, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get Guido, going to pick it up, and I'm going to put the tube end eye in the clevis hitch of the 4640, set some jack stands under it to support it, because I will need to hold that cylinder tube from turning while I thread that end gland out. Now, you don't necessarily have to have a farm tractor. You can use a dozer drawbar. You could maybe even somehow put it in the pintle hitch of a dump truck if the eye is big enough, or a hitch in the back of a pickup, as long as whatever you put it in is stout enough to hold it, because you're probably going to have to twist pretty hard on it if that end gland doesn't want to come out. Once we get that out, then we'll have to stick the ram eye in there, and then we can loosen or tighten the nut or do whatever we want to do on the piston. So let me grab Guido, get it lifted up, put it in there, see if we can get it apart. Okay, so we went ahead and we drained the oil out of the cylinder. I had to loosen the bolts up in the hitch of the tractor because it's just borderline of going. But the nice thing is, since I loosened them up, we slid the eye in, I tightened them back up, and it really kept the cylinder from rolling. It's good and tight in there now. So now we're going to take our first tool from Friday Parts, the spanner wrench here, and there's 2 holes in this gland. We'll put it in. I did have to grind these bolts down just a little bit to make them fit in my holes. Must have been a metric size, and this is a American size. No big deal, there's common Allen head bolts. Make sure those are tapped in there. Got a piece of square tubing we're going to use for a handle. So Dad's going to put some pressure on it.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
A few taps, break it loose. There we go. Whoops. Now this is not an original John Deere. Well, the tube is, but I think it's been reworked by another company because there's a tag on it down there. And all the other cylinders have a different end gland on the excavator.
I think they welded that under the tube.
Yeah, I think they did something a little different on it. But I'll get a little oil down there. Fine threads.
We gotta support the end of that ram.
Yeah, we probably should.
I'm gonna sling it.
Yeah. I think it's a long ways yet, though.
Well, yeah, but we don't want it falling down.
Yeah. like that. Didn't hurt it. Back up just a hair. Alright, that's good. Sit there? Yeah, it'll sit there. Ew.
What?
That don't look good.
Not tight?
Yeah.
It don't look good.
The seals are all junk. And it's been rubbing the walls. Well, after looking this over real good, I am pretty sure that this cylinder is probably junk. The tube is really scored. I don't know if it could be polished up, honed out. The piston itself is in real bad shape. It's got some real deep scoring on it. This ring is broke. These are pretty much like rings on a piston and an engine. These are gone. Yeah, them are junk. And I'm not sure if there's supposed to be a wear band here and here that's missing. There is one here, but there's none in these spots. So what I done was I got online, and supposedly Vanderhags have a 690A, which should be the same stick cylinder, and it is available to be purchased. So I'm going to call them. It's Sunday, so I can't call them today. I'm going to call them tomorrow and see about getting that cylinder, because I don't think there's any hope for this one. I just want to get one to get me by to get the excavating done for my new shop and the new house, and then I will continue the search for another stick cylinder. It'd be nice to find just a whole set of them to have them as spares, but who knows, the one that Vanderhags have might be a good cylinder and I might not have any trouble with it. So from the pictures, it don't look too bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this nut off with the tool from Friday Parts. This acts just like a big wrench, and I'd figure I'd at least tear this cylinder the rest of the way apart just so I can use their tools to make a video with them. And who knows, maybe the next cylinder I'll need them to rebuild it. So we'll see what happens. It is a salvage yard cylinder, so who knows, it could leak in the first couple hours I use it, but we'll see what happens. So let's get this nut off. So I did have to end up using Guido, his hitch in the back, to hold the eye of the cylinder. It goes in there enough that it acts like a wrench, so it'll hold it. The hitch on the tractor is not wide enough for that end. They're a different thickness. That's a lot thicker than that eye. So let's see if we can get this off. Someday, I'd like to build me an actual cylinder rebuilding bed. That'd be nice to have. Actually put the cylinder in it and be able to tear it apart, and then have a hydraulic cylinder that moves your wrench to tighten things up, and have a way to tell the right torque on everything. So it's pretty simple to put on. It's basically like a big crescent wrench, basically. Just an adjustable wrench. Get it on there and tighten the bolts up. I have to find something to shove on it for a handle. I kind of wish they would have put like a square for like a 1-inch ratchet or a 3/4 ratchet in these, and then you could use a good size ratchet or a big breaker bar with it. It's always something I could machine myself in the handle or weld something to it. There we go. It is heavy, but that's a good thing. The heavier the better. Alright, I'm gonna get something to tighten them up real quick. Well, we're gonna try to turn this nut off, break it loose. Couldn't figure out a good way of putting a handle on it, so I thought I'll just go get my 40,000 pound breaker bar. Push right on the end of there. Oops. Moved its own. Here, let's try this. There we go. Now we can put that on there. Kind of slick. Going. We backed it off a little bit. Step on that, see if it'll move yet. There we go. Now we can turn it off. It is a lock nut, so it's going to be stiff all the way off, but hey, it's broke loose. We'll go ahead and finish taking this nut off. Once we get past the nylon of that lock nut, it should go fairly easy. Maybe we'll do it by hand then. I found these channel lock looking things, adjustable channel locks at Harbor Freight. I thought they were pretty cool, so I grabbed them. I thought they might have a place somewhere in the tool truck. Used them a couple times. I was going to use a big crescent wrench, but that's just kind of heavy. I don't have any big open-end wrenches this big. Nope. Fine threads. There we go. That's a big nut. Yep. One big nut. All right, that's not threaded on there. It's just some sealer on the end. There's one of the pistons, part of it. I think I used some kind of sleeve retainer or something on that. No, there's no ring in there. But like it's glued on or something. Oh, there it goes. There's the other one. All right, cylinder's all tore apart, but I don't think there's any salvaging this. So I'm gonna call tomorrow and find out about that other one. Probably just get another one for it. It's just what happens with this older stuff. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Friday Parts, for sending the tools. They worked very well. And there's 5 other excavators around here, so I'm sure we're going to use them on another project for sure. They work real well, and I think there's a few more tools that I'm going to go ahead and order from Friday Parts. They seem to be a good quality tool. They work real well, so I don't see anything wrong with them. They're a good product, so can't thank them enough for sending them. So thank you for watching. We'll see you all in the next one, and I'll put the links in the description below for the tools that I got from them.